जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी 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 जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय परमं श्री राधिकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद् Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
Jai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 8, entitled The Churning of the Milk Ocean, and shlokas.
Till 26 we have read, 27 to 33 there is no purport.
7 to 34.
33 there is no purport, yeah, 34 today.
So 27 onwards. So 34 is on the board, and all the other shlokas I'll do, and then 34th we can do together. So text 24. Brahma Rudrang
27.
27. Brahma Rudrangiro Mukhya Sarve Vishwa Srijo Vibhum Idire Vitathair Mantre Stalingai Pushpa Varshinaha. Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the great sage Angira, and similar dictators of universal management showered flowers and chanted mantras indicating the transcendental glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 28. Shriyavalokita Deva Saparaja Pataya Praja Shiladi Guna Sampanna Lebire Nivritim Param. All the demigods, along with the Prajapatis and their descendants, being blessed by Lakshmiji's glance upon them, were immediately enriched with good behavior and transcendental qualities. Thus, they were very much satisfied. Text 29. Nisattva lolupa rajan nirudyoga gata trapaha yada chopekshita lakshmya babhuvurdetya danavaha. O king, because of being neglected by the goddess of fortune, the demons and rakshasas were depressed, bewildered and frustrated, and thus they became shameless. Text 30. Athasid varuni devi kanya kamalalochana asura jagrihustam vai harer anumatenate. Next appeared Varuni, the lotus-eyed goddess who controls drunkards. With the permission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the demons, headed by Bali Maharaj, took possession of this young girl. Text 31. Atho dadher mathyamanat kashyapir amritarthibhi Udatishtan Maharaja Purusha Paramadbhutah. O king, thereafter, while the sons of Kashyapa, both demons and demigods, were engaged in churning the ocean of milk, a very wonderful male person appeared. Text 32. Dirgha Pivara Dordanda Kambugrivo Runekshanaha Shamalastaruna Sragvi Sarvabharana Bhushitaha. He was strongly built. His arms were long, stout, and strong. His neck, which was marked with 3 lines, resembled a conch shell. His eyes were reddish, and his complexion was blackish. He was very strong. He was garlanded with flowers, and his entire body was fully decorated with various ornaments. Text 33. Pitavasa Mahoraska Sumrishta Manikundalaha Snigdha Kunchita Keshanta Subhaga Singha Vikramaha Amrita Purna Kalasam Vibhrat Valaya Bhushitaha. He was dressed in yellow garments and wore brightly polished earrings made of pearls. The tips of his hair were anointed with oil, and his chest was very broad. His body had all good features. He was stout and strong like a lion, and he was decorated with bangles. In his hand he carried a jug filled to the top with nectar. And now text 34, which is on the board. Please repeat after me. Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Vishnor Amshamsha Sambhavah
Vishnur Amshamsa Sambhava
Dhanvantarir iti khyata
Dhanvantariti Khyata
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Vishnor Amshamsha Sambhavah
Vishnur Amshamsa Sambhava
Dhanvantaririti khyata
Dhanvantariti Khyata
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Vishnu Amshamsha Sambhavaha
Vishnur Amshamsha Sambhava
Dhanvantari iti Khyata
Dhanvantari iti Khyata
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Vishnu Ashamsha Sambhava
Vishnur Amshamsa Sambhava
Dhanvantari iti Khyata
Dhanvantari riti Khyata
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Savai Bhagavata Sakshat
Vishnu Rashamsha Sambhava
Vishnur Amshamsa Sambhava
Dhanvantari Khyata
Dhanvantari riti Khyata
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Ayurveda Drigijyabha
Okay, word for word. Saha,
Saha,
he, why,
Indeed.
Bhagavata,
Bhagavata,
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
of the Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Sakshat,
Sakshat,
directly,
Vishnu,
of Lord Vishnu,
of Lord Vishnu,
Amsha,
Sambhava,
incarnation of the plenary portion,
incarnation of the plenary portion,
of a plenary portion, Dhanvantari, iti, thus, Khyata, celebrated, Ayurvedadrik, fully conversant in the medical science,
fully conversant in the medical science,
Ijjabhak, one of the demigods, eligible to share the benefits of sacrifices.
the benefits of sacrifices.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Translation. This person was Dhanvantari, a plenary portion of Lord Vishnu. He was very conversant with the science of medicine, and as one of the demigods, he was permitted to take a share in sacrifices. Purport. Srila Madhvacharya remarks, Tesham satya chalanartham harir dhanvantarir vibhuhu samarthopya suranam tu swahastadamuchat sudham. Dhanvantari, who was carrying the jug containing nectar, was a plenary incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But although he was very strong, the asuras were able to take the jug of nectar from his hands. End of purport. Om Agyantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Shri Kashi Nitai Sachi Sutta ki Jai, Radha Parishishwar ki Jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai. Shloka in translation once more. Savai Bhagavata Sakshad Vishnu Ramsham Shatambhava Dhanvantari Tikhyata Ayurveda Drigijya Bhak. This person was Dhanvantari, a plenary portion of Lord Vishnu. He was very conversant with the science of medicine, and as one of the demigods, he was permitted to take a share in sacrifices. So we read a few verses from 27th onwards, and we saw that how different personalities are being appearing from the churning of the milk ocean. We had many verses describing the appearance of Lakshmi Devi, and of course then she wanted to choose someone and she couldn't find anyone competent to be her partner, so to say. She's an eternal consort of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in this pastime it was shown that how she finally chose the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And what we have to learn from that pastime is we are also trying to choose so many things and persons in our life to suit our desires, but we are being defeated. Rishabh Deva says in 5th canto, Parabhavas tavad abodh jato yavanna jigyasita atma tattvam. Parabhavas, or another word in Hindi, I think it says parajay, parabhav, disappointment or defeat. We are being defeated so many times, not so many times, all the time basically, on material level. It's basically just a matter of being defeated sooner or later, that's all. There is no victory on the material level, because the body ends, and with the end of the body, everything else which is related to the body, that also finishes. So where is the victory? You can earn so much money, you can have a beautiful partner, you can have a big house, mansion, and you see all this news, that's what they are glorifying. Oh, this so-called celebrity, they are good looking, they have this partner, they purchased this new house or a mansion. This is the news in magazines and newspapers, and big politicians, celebrities, and it looks like that they are being victorious. But ultimately what happens, we don't see much of the other side. It's covered. We do get some news, oh, this so-and-so actor or this so-and-so famous musician died at 82 or died at, and that's it. They cover it up mostly, especially in the Western world. Death and related things are very much covered up. In third world countries, it's much more open because there's so much population and so much death. So much population means then there's so much disease and so much death, so many bodies. So how much can they hide? So you can see death very openly in third world countries. But in the West, somehow it's very polished from the outside, and the reality they try to cover as much as possible. So this is a propaganda of materialistic so-called civilization, that you can succeed in life. And that gives us hope. It's basically we are hoping against hope. There is no hope on the material level. And this discussion has to be done because this is Bhagavatam class, and this is not a beginner class. This is an advanced class. Beginner class is, usually for newcomers. Bhagavatam classes in the morning are usually for, practicing devotees who are more advanced. So we should know this side of life as well, and we should hear regularly because Maya is acting every day, and it will try to give us temptations that no, it's okay. Yes, you have worked hard, you have distributed so many books. This is the trick of Maya. Okay, now you have done so much service. Now you need something for yourself. Relax little bit. So little bit of material enjoyment is okay because you have worked so hard for Krishna. I didn't say anything to you. I'll let you do it. But now, you have a balance in your life. So these temptations will come daily. So daily we have to hear from Srimad Bhagavatam. So two sides of Krishna Katha that we hear is, one is the beauty of Krishna, of his form, of his names, of his activities, of his entourage, his associates, his dham, anything related to Krishna. We have to hear about the glories and the beauty of Krishna's personality and all the aspects of Krishna. And the second part of Krishna Katha that we must also hear is this part. The word used in Bhagavad Gita is Ghoram, Rupam Ghoram, Idring Mamedam in 11th chapter when Arjuna sees the universal form. It's Ghoram, it's horrible, horrific, the material form. So we should also know about that. So Arjuna wanted to see the universal form. Krishna smiled that he's already seeing the two-armed, most beautiful form, Satchidanand Vigraha. Why does he want to see the universal form? And in one lecture, I was hearing from His Holiness Prahladananda Maharaj, and in Bhagavatam, and he was mentioning this, that Arjuna wanted to see the universal form. And then Krishna provided him a vision. And then someone from the audience, he wanted, I think, someone to say it. And someone said it. Krishna provided him a higher vision to see, while being located in one place at Kurukshetra, Arjuna could see the whole universe from the bottom. At the bottom there is Sankarshana. At the bottom of the ocean there is Sankarshana. And then of course there are the hellish planets and lower planetary systems. So he could see, he was standing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He could see the bottom of the universe and he could see the top of the universe. On the lotus he could see Brahma sitting there. So he could see the whole universe while being located in Kurukshetra in one place. He could see the whole thing. And then, and you know the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he saw so many faces and all the warriors being crushed in the mouths of this universal form, and Arjuna got frightened. He said, oh, this is horrible. Rupam Ghoram. This is very horrific form. I don't want to, ghastly form actually. The word is ghastly. Ghoram means ghastly. I was trying to remember that word. So ghastly form. And then he said, please withdraw it. I don't want to see it anymore. This is the realization he got because Krishna was present. Krishna wanted him to give this realization. And what are people doing in the world? Oh, we want to visit different places. Paris is considered to be a so-called very beautiful place with an iron structure. It's the most important iron structure standing there, rusting. And people want to see it. Oh, wow, a rusting iron structure. Wow, so beautiful. There is no beauty in the material world, but people want to see it. Oh, London, New York, Los Angeles, Auckland. Wow, so nice. Wow. But if we actually have a vision of Shastra, it's called Shastra Chakshu, or another place in Bhagavad Gita it says Jnana Chakshu, the vision of knowledge, then you can see it's all rotting. Everything material rots basically. our bodies slowly they are, becoming old. So this freshness is just Maya's illusion. So Arjuna said, just remove it. So when Prahladamananda Maharaj, he said, okay, and he wanted to see the universal form, and Krishna gave him, and someone said from the audience, a higher vision. And Maharaj said, no, not higher vision, lower vision. Krishna gave him lower vision because he was already seeing two-armed beautiful form of Krishna, which is the highest. The universal form is a lower form and a temporary form. So he had to be given this lower vision. So this is a misunderstanding many people have. Oh, Arjuna had such a beautiful, great vision. He could see from the bottom of the universe to the high. But he got frightened. He said, let's remove it. So that's not a higher vision. So people glorify, oh, you have been to so many places. Oh, you have been to New York, you have been to London, oh, Paris. Wow. But what do you see in all these places? You see birth, you see old age, you see disease, and you see death. But as I was saying, in the Western world, it's all covered. I remember one time I was in Melbourne. I think Gauranga Prem Prabhu met him first time in Melbourne also. So I was at the main train station, the Flinders Street station, the main train station in the city. And it was a busy station, so many trains are coming, and I think one lady fell in front of the train and body ended. And while I was there, it all happened. And suddenly all the police and the staff came and they just blocked the whole thing. We couldn't even, they did not want anyone to just even look at that site. They just covered it up so fast. So I was amazed. And and in third world countries like India, you see, oh yeah, so many people die on the road, and it's all graphic, it's all open. But still, people don't learn. This is the thing. This is the power of Maya. There was a pastime in Mahabharata when Yudhishthir Maharaj goes to a lake to get water, and there was Yamraj in the form of a yaksha, a being yaksha, and he was in charge of the lake. And he said, you have to answer my question before getting water. Otherwise, you won't be allowed to take any water. So he said, okay, I'll answer your question. What is the question? He said, what is the most... He asked many questions, and Yudhishthira Maharaj was so intelligent, he answered all the questions. One of the questions that he asked is, what is the most amazing thing in the world? And you know the answer. He said, every day we see so many people dying, but we think we will not die. This is most amazing thing. So in the Western world, as we were discussing, that death and decomposition is covered. So people don't learn. And even in third world countries where it's very open and graphic, still people don't learn. And Shukdev Goswami says, Pashyan apina pashyati. You see it, but you don't see it. So experience is not a teacher. People think that with experience, with life experience, we gain wisdom. This is a myth. We don't learn with life. So why do old people still have contamination? If life is a good teacher, all old people should be realized, but they are not. They are not. They become so irritable, and kids don't want to be with them, But in bhakti we see, I've heard in lectures that in bhakti, the older you get, more valuable you become. You see all these older generation, Prabhupada disciples, sannyasis, gurus, they are like sought after commodities. Everyone is after them. Oh Maharaj, please come to our temple, or please come here, because they have wisdom. When we hear from them, we get purified. But if you are not a devotee and you become old, no one wants you, right? No one wants you. But in Krishna consciousness, it's totally opposite. So life is not a teacher, because material life is governed by Maya, and Maya is the illusory potency, avidya shakti. Avidya means ignorance. It's not the knowledge department, it is the ignorance department. So it's not the job of Maya to give you knowledge of life. It keeps you ignorant about the real facts so that you can take birth after birth. You don't learn and you have this hope. No, I am not defeated. Okay, maybe temporarily I am defeated, but I have hope. Because if people lose hope, then they commit suicide basically. So whoever is living, they basically have some hope that, oh yes, I'll gain something, and it's all futile. So that's why Krishna has given us the varnashram system, that how to deal with our conditioned self. We have a constitutional position as the soul, so our duties, constitutional duties, are to serve Krishna. Jivera Swarupoy Krishnera Nityadas. Krishnasya Tatastha Shakti Veda Ved Prakash. That we are Krishna's eternal part and eternal servant. So our constitutional position is to serve Krishna. And we have this material body. So we also have duty towards the material body. And that's our conditioned duty. In our conditioned body, what are our duties? That is based on varnashram system. So varnashram, all the 8 varnashram designations, they are material designations. But this varnashram system is Krishna's system. That okay, you have this body, you are conditioned by 3 modes. So there is a way to deal with it. So just follow the duties of your particular varna and ashram. And then being situated properly in varnashram, you can perform your spiritual activities, constitutional activities. So that is same for everyone. Constitutional activities, hearing, chanting, doesn't matter which varna or ashrama you are in. You just hear and chant and remember Krishna. But according to our varna and ashram, our conditioned duties are different. So we can choose what style of varna and ashram we want to, how we want to perform our spiritual life. That's up to us. According to our psycho-physical makeup, under guidance, if we do that. But that is not the goal of life, to be a perfect brahmachari or a perfect grahastha. That's not a goal of life. Goal of life is samsiddhir haritoshna. What's that verse?
Ata pumbir dvija shreshta.
Ata pumbir dvija shreshta varnashrama vibhagasha swanushthitasya dharmasya sansiddhim haritoshna. So right in the beginning of Bhagavad, that the perfection of your varna and ashrama is that you satisfy Krishna and you develop rati. There is another shloka, Shrama evi kelam swanushthitasya dharmasya samsiddhi haritoshnam. In the 8th, this is I think 14th verse. Then the 8th verse of 2nd chapter also it says Vishwaksena kathasu ya notpadyed yadiratim shrama evi kevalam. If you try to perfectly follow your varnashram duty, so I am a perfect grahastha, I am a perfect brahmachari, but you don't develop your loving sentiment towards Krishna, then it's all a waste of time. It's just a labor. Oh, I wake up early in the morning, or I'm very austere. These are all material things. This has nothing to do with, developing attraction to Krishna. There's a pastime in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, when Mahaprabhu was doing his nocturnal kirtans in Srivas Angan, house of Srivas Pandit. So then, one day Mahaprabhu was trying to do kirtan and dance, and he wasn't feeling ecstasy. He said, there's something wrong. And then he again tried, then again he was not feeling right. He said, and then he asked Srivas Pandit, is there someone who was not supposed to be here? Who is not supposed to be here? Because only special devotees were allowed in those nocturnal kirtans, not anyone and everyone. It was not like an open kirtan, anyone can come. Like we had on Sunday usually, when new people can come and also participate, devotees can participate. And 5-hour kirtan, 6-hour kirtan on Sunday. But that kirtan, Mahaprabhu's nightly kirtan, that was not open for everyone. Only advanced devotees and his close associates were allowed there. So then one night he said, is there someone who is not supposed to be here? And then this one brahmachari was hiding. And somehow then Mahaprabhu found out this brahmachari is there. And then who was usually not there. And then I think Shivas Pandit or someone told Mahaprabhu that this is a very austere brahmachari. He only drinks milk, only survives on. So milk is actually such a super food. You can survive just on milk. There are some people who still will do that. All the nutrients are there in the milk. But of course, the actual natural milk, not the processed like that. The natural milk has everything you need. So this brahmachari was, in Hindi I think he said Dugdahari. He was surviving on milk. So Mahaprabhu said, no, he is not qualified. So that was not the qualification. The qualification is love of Krishna. Being austere is not a very great qualification. Yes, he is surviving on only milk, and there are so many people who perform, a lot of austerities, hard work. They are very renounced, at least temporarily. But unless we develop attraction for Krishna, all these austerities will actually go away. I have seen so many examples. One time one of contacts I was trying to cultivate, he said, oh, my mother has become vegan. Suddenly. She was a big meat eater and now she has suddenly become vegan. I said, okay, give her Bhagavad Gita also, request her to read. But then she did not read any of Bhagavad Gita. And then after some time, she went back to the meat eating diet. It's not easy to just do austerity because we have to have a higher attachment. Otherwise we fall down. Even we can reach Brahman level, and if we don't develop attachment to lotus feet of Krishna, we fall down. There is a famous verse Prabhupada quotes so many times. Ye anye arvindaksh vimukta maninas tvayasta bhavad avishuddha buddhya patanti adha nadrita yushmadangraya. If someone reaches Brahman level and does not develop attachment to the lotus feet of Krishna, he falls down. Patanti adha, again falls down. So Prabhupada used to say, there are so many Mayavadi sannyasis, they say Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. This Brahman, the spiritual things are the real and material world is false. And they claim that they have reached this Brahman level. But then after some time, they do material pious work. They open hospitals, open some schools, some orphanages like that. This is material piety, which is better than not doing anything, better than sinful activity, but still it's on the material platform. So these so-called Mayavadi sannyasis, they claim they have reached Brahman, but if they don't go higher, as Maharaj was saying, the Mayavadi and Brahmavadi he was explaining. So you can reach Brahman level, but if you don't have respect and attachment to lotus feet of Krishna, then you fall down. Mayavadis, they never even reach Brahman level. But even if you are Brahmavadi and you reach Brahman level, you have to go even higher, because Brahman is just the Sat aspect, right? Is Sat, Chid, Anand, 3 aspects. So Brahman realization just has Sat aspect. And then as Prabhupada explains in, I think, Ishopanishad, he explains all this in detail in one of his purports, that Paramatma level has Sat and Chit aspect in it, and Bhagavan level is the full realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It has Sat, Chid and Anand, because unless you have a relationship, unless you revive your relationship with Krishna, there is no ananda, there is no juice, there is no rasa. Has few meanings, right? Rasa means relationship, and rasa also means juice, nectar. And here we see Dhanvantari appeared with the rasa or the nectar, amrita. So real fun is in relationships. So unless we develop relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not develop, unless we revive, we already have a relationship, we just have forgotten. We don't have to develop in that sense that it's not there and we will develop something. It's already there, it's just covered. We have to uncover it. So unless we do that, nothing will satisfy us and we'll go down. On the Brahman level, they don't find any interaction. It's very boring. So soul is Anandmaya Vyasa. We want enjoyment. We want so much enjoyment. That's why we see general how material world works. Man is alone and a woman is alone. I'm not talking about Varnashram system. I'm talking about general material world. Man is alone, woman is alone. Oh, my life is miserable. So alone, lonely, single, right? Single means miserable. Oh, that's why sometimes when they see a brahmachari, one time Vijay Prabhu, book distribution minister of ISKCON, it's very funny as well. He was saying, he met one old lady and she said, "Oh, you're single? Oh, poor guy." So she actually was very compassionate. And, so this is the general conception. You're single means, oh, you must be miserable. Oh, Krishna, not Krishna. Oh, poor guy. So man is alone, woman is alone, very miserable. And they think, oh, I get a partner. Oh yes, now there is some juice in life. And then after some time, again the juice goes away. It becomes very boring. If they are not devotees. I'm not talking about Varnashram system. Varnashram, if you are serving Krishna, in being nicely placed in any ashram, juice will always be there. General life, material life, then juice goes away. Then either they separate and find another partner, or we want someone else in our life to revive the juice or get more juice, and then they get a kid, and then for some time there is juice, and then again that rasa, the relationship, they want another relationship to expand the field of relationship and interactions. But then after some time, another child, like that, things go. This is how material world works, right? Pumsa striya mithuni bhavam etam tayor mita hridaya granthi mahu ato griha kshetra sutapta vittai janasya mohoyam aham mameti. This is the root cause how material world works. We get attracted and then our field of activity just multiplies, and we think in terms of me and mine, and we have life after life. This is the story of material world. But for devotees, it's totally different experience, because from the beginning we are on the Bhagwan realization, Supreme Personality of Godhead. We perform hearing and chanting. Even the neophyte devotee is performing hearing and chanting process, and the means and the goal in bhakti is the same. So a neophyte devotee, from the first day he chants one round of Hare Krishna, and Mother Yashoda, she is chanting Krishna's name. It's the same activity actually. Same thing. It's just the realization is different, but activity won't change. It is the same. But in other processes, it's not like that. You do something to get something else. But here it's so amazing. You chant to get more chanting. That's it. So this is the beauty of bhakti process. So we have the goal already. It's just we have to realize it. And the famous example that we hear, if you give the big diamond in hand of a child, the child doesn't know the value of the diamond. But still the child has the diamond. So we have holy name which is actually Naam Chintamani Krishna. This is the Chintamani, the greatest jewel. We already have it. Whether initiated or not initiated, we already have it. It's just we have to realize that it is such a valuable jewel, and that's why we do Nityam Bhagavad Sevya. We hear Bhagavatam daily in association of devotees. So here we see that Dhanvantari has appeared with the pot of nectar, and somehow the demons took the jug of nectar away from his hands. And Dhanvantari is mentioned here as Amsha Amsha, plenary portion of the plenary portion. There is another word for that mentioned in Bhagavatam. The expansion, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality, and then the expansion is called Amsha. Expansion of expansion is called Kala. That's why the famous verse from first canto, Ete Chamsh, Ete Cha Ansh Kala Pumsa, Krishna's to Bhagavan Sam. So many expansions are there, expansion and expansion of expansion. But original Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna. So Dhanvantari is also Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is expansion of expansion. But that doesn't mean he has any less power. He just exhibits less power. Krishna is Leela Purushottam. He exhibits everything, the whole spectrum. Other expansions, they only exhibit a part of this spectrum. They have the power, but they just show a little bit. So Dhanvantari is especially known for being conversant with the science of medicine. What is the word here? Ayurveda Drik. Fully conversant in medicine science. Ayurveda. So Veda means knowledge, any knowledge. And in our Vedic literature, we have, of course, knowledge of bhakti, moksha, varnashrama, so many things, but also material knowledge of material fields, like knowledge of the medicine, knowledge of fighting, Dhanurveda, all this is also there. Military science, medicine science, everything is there in the ancient Vedic literature. So the so-called modern developments in the field of medicine and technology is not very advanced. When we read this ancient science from Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see that it is more advanced and more logical, and people come back to it all the time. They invent something, some new medicine with this chemical, that chemical. One devotee, he works for a company which has natural medicine. So he sent a video to me, and in that there was a seminar, and one of his colleagues of this natural medicine company, he was saying that modern so-called medicine is like this. And he was giving all the actual names of the medicine. I don't remember all those, but anyway, he was saying, oh, you have headache? Okay, take this medicine. This will cure headache, but of course it has some side effects like this. These 5 side effects. But don't worry, there is no problem. If you have this particular side effect, we have this medicine for that. And this will cure that side effect, but it will have these another 4 side effects. But don't worry, for those 4, if you develop any of those, we have medicine for that. So you don't have to worry. Just keep taking our medicines, you will be fine. But in Ayurveda, we see one Ayurvedic doctor I used to visit. I'm not saying we don't have to take any modern so-called medicine. If you have any medical needs, you see a doctor, whichever doctor you want to see, and cure it and do your service. That's the main thing. But I'm just saying, telling you some difference. This Ayurvedic medicine, which is based on the ancient scriptures, and the Dhanvantari is the original, propounder of Ayurveda. So Ayurvedic medicine, one doctor which I saw, he was saying Ayurveda means all these edible items like turmeric, these are medicines, cloves, turmeric, salt, these are medicine. I was a brahmachari and I had a toothache, very bad toothache. So I went to a dentist, and there was one Indian guy, one Chinese doctor, and Indian assistant. So I went there, and I had a very terrible pain in the back of the last tooth. And anyway, then they were trying to sell me a higher type of cure, and they said, okay, we will do a special treatment for this. You have this pain at the back. And then I said, I'm a monk, I don't have money for that. So they tried, but they understood. Then they understood he doesn't have money. So then when I was leaving, I think the lady doctor, she had some compassion. So while I was leaving, she mentioned, don't worry, just gargle with salt water, it will be fine. That's it. And she said sometimes when you don't brush properly, in the end, there's some germs they develop. You just gargle 2 times and it will be fine. And that is what happened. I gargled and in 2 days it went away. The pain went away. But she was trying to sell like a $40 some big treatment that in a special syringe you can have a special liquid being spray there. But then when she was convinced I don't have money, and she said, okay, don't worry, just so like that. So anyway, all the knowledge is there in our original shastras. So Dhanvantari is there, and one quick last point that I wanted to discuss is how the asuras, they snatched the jug of nectar from Dhanvantari, who is Supreme Personality of Godhead, expansion of expansion. How were these demons, how were they able to do it? How did Lord allow them to do it? So this is what we have to understand, that these demoniac entities also have a place and they will always be there. So we can't blame, oh Lord, why don't you remove all the demons? When we go out on books, we just meet saintly people and we empty all our boxes. It will be, huh?
If we only meet saintly people, then...
It means innocent people who are not yet devotees,
Okay.
but who are ready.
Yeah.
And no demon, stops our, book distribution and troubles us. But this will happen in our life. We will meet people who are demoniac. They also have a place. And so how to deal with it? We just see it as Krishna's arrangement, and whatever happens to us, we see it as Krishna's arrangement and Krishna's mercy. And we try to do our best in that situation. And we try to stick to our service, and Krishna gives various tests. And if we just do everything for pleasure of Guru and Krishna, then we'll be ultimately successful. Even going out and trying is also success. And of course, more externally we have some results, that is also good. But if we try to serve Krishna with the motive of pleasing Guru and Krishna, that is itself a success. Right? So that's I would like to end there and see if you have any questions or comments on what we discussed.
How to develop hope and motivation when we go through all the austerities, when sometimes we sacrifice ourselves and we chant and we are not getting the taste. Like, even though we think we may see that we are doing our best, how to develop that attraction for Krishna on a deeper level.
Yeah, so that is a
And
whole...
also on that point, like on the toothache, for example, when the body is diseased, what is the balance between just relying on Krishna, you make me sick and like I don't do anything, you'll cure me, or just expecting that he does something for that, or not taking care of our own needs.
Okay, there's
Another-
two
another
questions,
concern.
right? Two different questions. What was the first one?
So how to develop the deeper attraction?
How to develop? Okay,
and hope.
let's
Is
do
that,
this one first.
yeah.
So, how to develop a deeper attraction for Krishna? So, that takes time usually. It can happen instantaneously if Krishna wants, but usually it takes time to develop taste for the holy name, taste for serving Krishna. Krishna will reveal step by step, slowly. But we are here because we have at least some taste, little taste. That's why we are here. And okay, we may not have deep taste of holy name. At least we have taste for something, kirtan, prasad at least. So if we do hard work whole day, distribute books or do temple service, and we think, oh, what did we get? At least we got prasad.
Always khichdi, every day khichdi, morning khichdi.
You have milk sweets, you have halwa, you have good prasad. And of course, healthy prasad. Khichdi is good, it will keep you healthy. But in one purport, Prabhupada says we should also take decent amount of Mahaprasad. Like not every day. If we eat every day opulent food, puri, pakora, halwa, we'll get sick. Our body cannot handle. Krishna can handle. But some dose of, we don't have to deny ourselves. It's all prasad, especially in young age. You are how old? 22. You're very young age. So in young age, our senses are very strong, So give them some good prasad, and of course, majority, 80% you eat healthy food, 90% and a little bit of good prasad, and you'll be happy. Doesn't matter at the end of the day, you haven't distributed 50 Mahavik books, you haven't seen Golok Vrindavan in your vision. But you got prasad, you got devotee association, you got Bhagavatam, you chanted your rounds, you had kirtan, you played instruments. There's so much actually there. That's what the example I was giving is, initially we are like children in bhakti. We have the diamond, we don't know its value. We already have it. It's just that we have to develop our appreciation of it. It's nothing different that we will have. It's the same mantra that Bhakti Vinod Thakur was chanting, that Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj was chanting, that Srila Prabhupada was chanting, that Rupa Goswami was chanting. The same mantra we are chanting, we have it. One example is very nice, I give usually. It is a normal person, doesn't have much money, goes to McDonald's or Burger King and has some, burger. And then there is a person who is like in his big car, he goes to a very big 5-star hotel and a big restaurant in there and eats very expensive food there. And this normal person gets a coupon or something that you can have dinner in this big place. He will be ecstatic. I'm able to eat these things and taste these expensive items that rich people taste. Right? He will be ecstatic. So in the same way, we just have to think like that. What was Rupa Goswami tasting? He was tasting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Haridas Thakur was tasting. We are also actually tasting that. We also have that on our tongue. Right? We just have to think like that. We don't have appreciation of it and realization, it will come. The more we chant, it will get. Krishna will reveal. So there is no worry. And the second question, I'll quickly try to answer, is time is up. When we get sick, we also see that as mercy of Krishna. Maharaj was also giving that Tatteno Kampasu Samikshmano. It is mercy of Krishna. I have so much bad karma. Krishna has given only a small token so that I can become more clean and my love will develop. So that is also mercy of Krishna. Okay? So I'll end this. Time is up. Sorry, I went 5 minutes over. We can discuss more later. Srimad Bhagavatam ki